Comparison, your internal comparison of what you once took on to what you're willing to take on now, is what will minimize your past challenges that once felt like big challenges. And we're back
with another episode of He Said, She Said. And this morning I asked Chris a question that I want to share with you guys because I really want you to ponder this in your life because you have a version of this. And there's also a version of this that we are always striving to attain even more. And I asked him, I said, okay, so a lot of the things that you have to do in a day or the things that you used to get really stressed out over aren't even a thing anymore. You just do them without even thinking about it. You do them without resistance. You do them without reactions. The things that used to stress you out or feel like huge deals, or looking in your calendar and going, oh my God, I have 8 coaching calls today. Like, it's not a thing anymore. Where in the past, that would have been more stress than we could have possibly handled. So we were sitting here thinking about capacity and pondering, how does that happen?
I was going to say, we talked about capacity several episodes back, right? Like, capacity is kind of like your muscles. The more you go to the gym and the more you add weight, the stronger your muscles get. Well, capacity does the same thing. The more you take on challenging things with repetition, the things that once seemed challenging are no longer as challenging because you've built your capacity. So people can go back and kind of listen to some of the episodes on capacity, but I think what we were really talking about, and this is really where our episodes come from, is whatever we talk about at dinner, whatever we talk about on the morning walk, it always turns into an episode. What we were really talking about earlier was, why don't things just seem to bother me the way they have in the past? And it's similar to that concept of capacity, but it's really this. Comparison will always determine what feels big or small to you. Now, this means big or small problems, or big or small muscles, or big or small bank accounts, or big or small houses, or big or small dreams, or whatever, right? Comparison, and I don't mean like comparing yourself to other people, but take the dogs, for instance. So Bananas and Bonkers, that's the name of our 2 dogs. They're pretty big dogs, right? Bananas is probably 70 pounds, and Bonkers, God, he's 9 months old. He's already probably 80 something or whatever. And every day when I'm around them, I'm like, oh, those are big dogs. But then once in a while, we'll meet a Great Dane, or we'll meet, forget the name of those other dogs that are in the neighborhood, in our Arizona neighborhood, and they're massive, right? And all of a sudden, by comparison, Bananas and Bonkers don't seem so big anymore. Mm-hmm. So comparison, your internal comparison of what you once took on to what you're willing to take on now, is what will minimize your past challenges that once felt like big challenges. Let me give a better analogy. In high school, I had a job at Hanson's Dairy, which isn't even around anymore, but it was a pizza and sub shop and ice cream shop, right?
How many of those subs did you eat?
I used to experiment with what could I deep fry, because it had a deep fryer for the fried fish. So I would make subs and deep fry. I
would love to make a deep fried sub.
Oh my God, we made up so many epic meals and stuff. But back then the big challenge was a crabby customer.
Yeah.
Or the big challenge was, I burnt something. Or the big challenge was, I can't believe how hard it is to close up at the end of the day and do the mopping or do the cleaning. Mm-hmm. My God, that wouldn't even hit the radar now of a challenge. Like, imagine a customer who's buying pizza or ice cream or a sub, who's upset with something, rattling my cage now. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't even register compared to the size of the challenges that I've taken on now. Same as you, the size of the challenges that you've taken on now. And the size of your challenges will always be in direct proportion to the size of your goals. So the hack is this. When you're fighting for average goals, average problems are going to feel pretty damn big to you. Mm-hmm. But when you switch the goals that you're chasing down, right? I'm building $1 billion app company. When you elevate the size of your goals and make them so dang massive, then the problems that come along with that size challenge are so large that the past ones seem like nothing.
I remember we were in a mastermind probably in 2016. I think it was Lewis Howe's mastermind. He had Grant Cardone come and speak, and Elena Cardone was there, and they were really, I remember them talking about this. So I remember we were at an event probably in 2016, 2017. Elena Cardone was there with Grant Cardone, and they were talking about the same thing and how they have started to have to not sweat the small stuff, because they said when you have big fish to fry, everything else seems like nothing. Like you actually have to start treating it that way.
Yep.
And so I think it's part conscious effort and also what you're saying, like by comparison, because I even look at my schedule now. I'm like, oh my God, things that I do in one day, I used to do in a week or 2 weeks back in the day. So I was on the treadmill not too long ago, and I remember I was running at like something really, really low, like 5.1 or 5.2, like a really light jog for me, because guys, I'm tall. So that's like kind of almost like a shuffle walk, a little faster than a. And I was thinking how hard it was. I was like, this is so hard. I don't want to do this. I just didn't feel like running that day. And I thought, what's the best way? What's the fastest way that I could make this feel easy? And I thought, give myself a challenge. I'm going to make myself have to run for 5 minutes at 7 miles per hour. Yeah. And so what I did was I immediately made something harder to make what I wanted to be doing easier.
Yeah, so I think what you're trying to say is after you did 7 miles an hour for a while, all of a sudden 5 miles an hour, which felt tough in the moment, felt like nothing.
Yeah, so choose a challenge to make what you're doing now seem a lot easier to grow your capacity. So choose a bigger challenge.
And the whole point of us sharing this is, I think this is what holds people back from going after the bigger things, right? The bigger company, the bigger dream, the bigger job, the bigger goal, whatever it is that you're chasing down. I know that you want something more, but what holds you back many times is you think, oh my God, I can't imagine the challenge of this, or I can't imagine the challenge of that. It seems too big.
On top of what you already have.
Right, on top of what you already have. But here's what happens in reality. You go for the bigger whatever. That invites much bigger challenges. And the things that feel like challenges now suddenly wash away because by comparison, they're no longer large. Mm-hmm. Right? You don't even feel the things that feel like challenges now. And so this is almost your permission. This is almost your encouragement to say, hey, don't hold back because you're just picturing piling bigger challenges on top of your current challenges. What really happens in execution is you're only paying attention, you're only feeling your current challenges at the magnitude that you are right now because, well, those are your current challenges. But they literally go away. They literally get washed away because they become so small in comparison to the new bigger ones that you're inviting in to hit that bigger goal.
Hey y'all, I'm so excited to share with you that this podcast, Earn Your Happy, is now a part of the Growth Day Podcast Network. Truly, this is like one of the most exciting things that has ever happened to me. I'm telling you, I no longer feel like I'm doing this alone, and I actually get to collaborate with the people who host the podcast that I'm obsessed with, like that I have been listening to myself, who inspired me to start a podcast, who have taught me about how to go and do the thing, like the original people who got me motivated through listening to their podcasts. You guys, a bunch of us are coming together to bring more growth to the world and to support shows and brands that we believe in. And one of my friends are also on this network, and I'd love for you to go subscribe to their show. You guys, I just had Danielle Canty on of the Boss Babe podcast. She co-hosts it with her other amazing co-host and one of my friends, Natalie Ellis. You guys, you can go check out that podcast on mine. It's episode 925, and Danielle and I talk all about burnout and how that could be showing up in your life, and most importantly, how to prevent it. But I want to tell you, if you have not gone and checked out the Boss Babe podcast yet, go subscribe, because it is one of the largest online communities for ambitious women and female entrepreneurs. And I know that if you're listening to the show, chances are that's probably you. You guys, they have 3.6 million followers and 380,000 subscribers. The Boss Babe podcast is the place where they share real behind the scenes of building successful businesses, achieving peak performance, and learning how to balance it all. Most of all, you guys, truly, these women are in my life. Danielle and Natalie are people that I text on a weekly, monthly basis when I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel stuck. What should I do? I tune into their podcast, you guys, to learn. Even though they're my friends, I am still like crazy obsessed with this podcast because I learn something new every single time I listen. It makes me be a better podcaster. It makes me be a better businesswoman. It just makes me be better and more confident out in the world because they're so real and raw. And I can tell you that in the moments where I have had horrible days, down days, I've either gone and listened to this podcast or I've texted them because these are the people who truly get it. You want to listen to the people who are walking in the same footsteps that you are. You guys go check out the Boss Babe podcast. You're not going to be sorry. And it's just going to like make you way smarter and you're going to have way more fun. So go check it out.
Yeah, it is so different than people think. And one of the things that I really want to point out is in order to get to where you want to go, you're going to have to do something really big like that. It's like in order to really start breaking those patterns and those ceilings that you feel stuck in, it's going to take a lot more than just a really like a baby step. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of things in life where baby steps are really important and powerful. I think every day needs to be little baby steps towards things. But I also think that throughout your year, you need to pick one or two big challenges that are going to catapult you past the plateau. Because what's going to happen is baby steps can slowly progress you and keep you where you're at.
Like, be a bullshit excuse.
They can, absolutely. But you're going to need to pick something that every single year feels big, feels scary, feels a lot bigger than you're used to. And in return, it's going to make all of the things that you feel stressed about right now actually feel small. It doesn't happen right away, but you're going to look back over that past year that you do that thing and go, wow, I can't believe how much my capacity has grown for what I can handle and also how I view it. And I just want to share, like, this is a very active thing that you have to participate in. So as you're taking on that bigger thing and you notice the small stuff, you just actually have to practice letting go of the feelings of stress or frustration around them and saying, I have bigger things to do. I have bigger purpose in this world. Like this, it can't bother me. Just do it. So I noticed that throughout my day. I'm like, yeah, even with these podcasts, Chris, you and I used to talk about how hard they seem to sit and record together and think of a topic, and we'd argue, and now we don't do any of that.
It's the easiest part of our career.
It's the easiest part.
Is it funny? If you're taking baby steps right now, congratulations, because it's better than not stepping at all. It's better than staying in place. So I don't want to belittle that. But I also am going to enlighten you on the truth. And the truth is, if you really want to go somewhere significant, it takes leaps. It takes leaps and bounds, not just baby steps. So you start with the baby steps, and they might feel challenging, right? But the challenge of the baby steps will no longer even register on your chart of challenges when you start taking leaps. And it takes leaps and it takes bounds to go where you're really trying to go. You can't baby step your way there entirely.
I'm thinking this in terms of business because right now, you know, there's a lot of people in our world who are letting go of their businesses or quitting their businesses, and they feel like they don't know what to do and they don't feel like they want to do it anymore, and they don't know what to do next, and they don't feel like it's growing and it's not what they expected. And, you know, I feel like we've been at these crossroads too in a lot of our businesses where we're just like, oh my God, maybe this is it. Maybe this is where the world gets bad. Maybe this is where we just give up. Like, but that's not an option. Nope. And what I do know is that the people who are successful, they're not lucky. They have these moments as well, but they always come back to a place where they say, well, it's the next big, bold, audacious thing, and we have to take big action, and we have to do something scary that other people aren't doing. We might have to take more risks. It's never the answer you guys want. It's not. It's never the answer I want, because the answer is always take a bigger leap. And I want to read you guys a quote. My friend Tara Hannaford sent this to me, and it was from Tim Ferriss on Twitter. And he says, 99% of people in the world are convinced they are incapable of achieving great things. So they aim for the mediocre. The level of competition is thus fiercest for realistic goals, paradoxically, making them the most time and energy consuming. So saying, remember, that when we go for the average thing, for the little steps, it's actually harder than taking the big swing.
It's interesting that quote. I mean, it sums everything up. If you've got 1,000 people chasing an average prize, not only is that a ton of competition, but there's not much prize there to split up among 1,000 people. So most people starve. When you've got 2 or 3 people going for the grand prize, now the competition is far less. Look at the numbers, right? But at the same time, you know what I've noticed? When you go for the grand prize and 2 or 3 people going for the grand prize, the knock it out of the park type of, grand slam, they end up collaborating typically. They say, hey, this grand prize is so damn big. Why don't the 3 of us split up the work? Why don't the 3 of us partner? Why don't the 3 of us go after it together? Because there's going to be more than enough to go around, and now there's no competition. So when people are feeling stuck, when they feel like their problems are big and all that stuff, I don't want to belittle them, but the truth is, it feels that way because you're competing for average, and there's too many people competing for average, and the competition is too stiff, therefore. And if you actually achieve the average, there's too little of it to go around, so now it wasn't even worth it to begin with. I say go all in for the biggest damn thing you can dream up, or don't go at all.
Oh, I love this. Okay, well, I have Girlfriends in Business coming up very soon in mid-September. If you guys want to join me and 70 other incredible female entrepreneurs, Chris, of course, is always in the room.
They're coming to see me.
They are. Let's be super real. I would love for you to check out girlfriendsandbusiness.com. You guys, hopefully there's tickets left by the time this comes out. I am not sure we sold out last time in 72 hours, but go check it out right now. It is all about high level networking, really finding those other like-minded women. It's going to be all about breakouts where you're actually working on your business with other entrepreneurs in the room, and also learning from the experts who have been there. Our guests are so freaking amazing this year.
God, it's funny that you bring this up when we did this episode, because you've got these guest speakers on the stage that have accomplished massive things, right? Multiple $100 million companies and all that sort of stuff. And when they explain the challenges that they went through to get there, suddenly, when you're chasing a smaller, mediocre goal, your challenges that you think you have today seem so tiny and easy to overcome because you just witnessed a woman who's just like you talk about a challenge that was 100 times bigger, but then an reward that she got that was 1,000 times bigger than what you're chasing. So it's like immediate, washes away what you think is tough right now, and it resets your sights, it resets your goals, and it also resets what you think is hard.
I just want to share, when you are really doing what you are put on the planet for, you want to solve those problems. They actually seem less stressful because they feel so purposeful. And when you are solving problems that you came here to solve, like your soul was put on this planet to do this thing, this product, this business, help these people, that is how that truly puts everything into perspective. And when you feel so on purpose and when you feel so fulfilled, all of the little stuff is like, don't sweat the small stuff. You just don't naturally, because you realize how dumb it is. Like, I get it. I did it too. But truly, in the grand perspective, when you're going for what you're meant to go for, it'll really help you get over it. So you guys, we're so grateful for you, and we will see you next week.
Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. And I want to make sure that you have my phone number, and I'm not kidding. Did you know that I have a community text number? For real. My phone number is 310-496-8363. This goes directly to my phone. All you have to do is text the word daily to 310-496-8363. And I literally text you every single day, Monday through Friday. I actually just got done 30 seconds ago texting a bunch of people back, and I talk to you all of the time. You guys, people always ask me how I got my community text number and how it works. Well, all you have to do is you can just go to community.com and get your own. Community makes it easy to get a phone number that you can use to build your audience using text. People just text you at your number and they're added to your group.
Then you can text them out audios, video links, anything you want. You guys, I text out happy birthday videos. I love to send podcast links, thoughts about life, book recommendations, different events that I'm doing in the local area. Texting gets me out of the noise of social media and directly into your hand. And now you can start texting your people too. Just go to community.com to get your phone number. They give you a 10-digit real phone number, not those weird short codes that look like spam, but it's more than a phone number. Your new number comes with an inbox for SMS and texting. This means you can actually manage your text list from your computer and an app on your phone. You can schedule text to send at certain times and to certain groups. You can even set up auto replies or let your assistant or customer service team answer your text messages via Community's awesome dashboard. Just go to community.com and ask for a free demo. They'll show you how it works and get you your number. It's time to start texting your audience versus just posting on social media. Everyone uses Community for that. So go check them out at community.com. I can tell you it's not just great for communicating with my audience, but Chris and I use Community and our texts to also sell out our launches. I'm telling you, you get such an incredible response because you really are creating a true, deep sense of community. And it's so intimate. It's freaking amazing. Go check it out at community.com.
Hey y'all, I'm so excited to share with you, Earn Your Happy is now part of Growth Day Podcast Network. A bunch of us are coming together to bring more growth to the world and support shows and brands that we truly believe in. And one of my friends is also on the network, and I'd love for you to go subscribe to his show. You guys, Trent Shelton has the most incredible podcast. It's called Straight Up with Trent Shelton, and it's going to remind you that you are built for this. I have heard Trent speak in person multiple times. I've listened to his podcast a ton. He's coming on the show, and I literally cannot wait because this man just spits straight fire. It is like truth that goes to your core and makes you take action right away. If you want one of those podcasts that when you're just out on a walk, you can't help but want to start running and run through a wall in your life, this is the show to go listen to. So you guys, make sure that you go subscribe to the show Straight Up with Trent Shelton. You're going to love it.